live? Hi. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tharp World. We started a little late. We had a little technical difficulties, but we're fine now and everybody's okay. So Tharp World is a live art show where I paint. I have a nice blank canvas here with a little bit of an underpainting ready to go. I paint live. I have callers call in and collaborate with me on the pieces. You can call in and request anything you want, colors, within my palette that I've made. And we talk. And then an added bonus of the show that we've added very recently is I will give you a 1-minute psychic reading. I'm a registered psychic with the Psychic Society of Berkeley, and we enjoy giving readings as a service, as a public service, to help people benefit and move their lives forward in a positive way and have more abundance. So that's great, and you're all welcome to call. There's a call-in number going across the screen, and you can just pick up your phone and call. My phone is ready. There's a little tiny bit of a delay, but hopefully that won't make you too anxious. Yes, I'm ready with my phone, so please call. Before we start, I'd like to show you a little bit about my palette, since I have no idea how this painting is going to turn out. A lot of the work that I do on Tharp World is made on the show very spontaneously, so we don't know how exactly it's going to end up. I try not to make a very solid plan with the work because it's so fun to see it evolve in collaboration with the viewers. So I'll show you a little bit of my palette. I have a very primary palette here. We have a dark color for lining here, which is a combination of some blues and a black, and then I have some different yellows. I have a couple of grays, a blue and a red, nice, strong, candy colors. And I'm just going to start putting lines on this panel. This is a wood panel. I've put gesso on it, and I've put kind of an ochre glaze on top of it. It's a little bit matte finish. So I'm just going to start with kind of random lines of stuff I saw today. I also have some cards that I made recently and I've used on the show a little bit to give me ideas in case I don't get a lot of callers. It helps me kind of make the picture a little bit more random and have kind of a fresher feel. And it's fun for me because there's surprises. These are cards that I made. Oh my God. Okay. This is that. Very quick. So let me put this on speaker. Hello, this is Tharp World. Who's this? Oh my gosh, it's Eric, who I've never met before. This is so exciting that we have our very first caller so soon after the show started. Are you watching the show, Eric?
I am. I hope I'm not interrupting.
No, you're not interrupting at all. This is so wonderful that you're calling. I'm so happy to give you a reading. No, please don't call back. No, I'm really glad that you called. Don't worry. This is a perfect time. I haven't even started the painting yet, but I need ideas because this is a collaborative show, and I collaborate with the viewers, and I know I can just I have a psychic sense about you that you're very creative. Is that true?
I think so.
Yes, and I'm also getting a psychic sense that you're a taller gentleman with a really good haircut. Is that also true?
Wow, I feel like you know me. Yeah.
Oh my God, no! Because of my abilities, I'm able to see clairvoyantly my the callers who are calling in. So this is great. So Eric, help me start this painting. I'm at a loss. What should I do? Give me the first thing that comes to mind, and I'll paint it.
I'm so confused right now because I'm watching you.
Yes.
Computer.
Yes.
I feel like an old man. I'm so confused by all this technology.
You're confused by the technology, and you feel like an old man. Okay. Okay, I don't know really how to respond to that.
Delay, probably. Delay.
Yes, let's incorporate that into the art piece. I love that. I love that we want to incorporate that.
Totally. Let's incorporate this experience.
Yes, let's use the awkwardness of this conversation and the confusion to start the piece. Okay. So what's the first thing that comes, what's the first word that comes to your mind, right now? The first thing. It can be really random. What is it?
Cat. I have a cat going here, and then my stuff in my eyes later.
Your eyes landed on your cat blanket. I love that. Okay, let's start. That's perfect. So I'm just gonna start. I mixed a little bit of black, and I'm gonna start lining this piece. And some of these lines will be covered up with other paint. This is a painting that's gonna be going for the next couple of sessions on Tharp World. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start. You are. You're a huge part of that collaborative effort. My very first caller of the evening. And a brave caller to stay on the phone with me. This is a really very weird experience. So I think a lot of people watch and then just don't call because it's awkward, you know? But it's really good. So do you have a cat at home? Oh no. Is the plant? Oh yeah. Well, that kind of counts as a pet. That's like the beginning of a pet. It's like the first. It's the first step in getting a pet is if you can keep the plant alive for good 6 months. And cats are actually easier than plants. Yeah. They actually I feel like require a little bit less. Oh, this cat looks like a demon. I love. Are you watching? Yeah. So I don't really know how it's. Yeah. Oh, was it? Were you because you were hearing your own voice? You were. I know. I hardly ever watch these episodes after they're on. Once in a while I do, just so that I can, figure out what would look better on camera and how it would look better filmed. But it's really weird to watch, and it's just the strangest thing. I don't think humans were meant to do it, and that's why it's weird for us when we see it. It's just very unnatural. This cat looks... We're breaking all the human rules that the creator intended, perhaps. But, that's what makes being human fun. So, yeah, this cat is, he's really, this is a strange animal. I haven't done his face yet. I was waiting till, I was saving it for last to try to figure out what the look on his face was going to be. He kind of looks like, he's using a litter box. He looks like he's using, that's a part of owning a cat that's not as fun. Also, they pee in your shoes, just so you know. Like, if you get one and you leave your shoes around, the cat will urinate in all of your footwear, just so you know that. My cat has done it to so many of my shoes. I've thrown out so many shoes because of him. You're going to have to get a storage unit just for your shoes, because the cat... If you let him in the storage unit, it would be all over. And so a great part of doing these guys is like doing their shadows too, because the shadows are a huge part of them. Like in these pictures. Are you watching? It is a lot to handle. You're a really brave caller, and we're so happy that you called in to collaborate. It's so great to have the viewers who I've never met before and don't know, and to call in and then support the show, because it makes us all feel a lot more important, the people that make the show. And there's a team of us that actually there's a behind the scenes effort that starts hours before the show even airs. And there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. Complicated things that I mean, as the talent, have no idea how they do it. I just stand there and they will like stand on the X, and it's like that. But they're extremely gifted with technology in a way that I never will be. And admire them quite a bit. So it looks like he's okay. So the look on his face is going to be one of like part pleasure and part disgust at the same time. It's going to be hard to capture that, but I think I can do it.
I like that idea. About 30 minutes ago, really hardcore nap.
Oh.
I was really confused.
Oh, yes.
And, you wake up in the evening, you think, what the hell, where am I?
Yes, indeed, yes.
What day is it? And I must be late for something.
Yes, exactly.
And you struggle to figure it out. Like that, maybe some of that vibe.
Yeah. I like that. Just like that confusion and that wonder, a little bit of whimsy, perhaps, a little bit of playfulness. Like, what am I late for at this time? Who's gonna be mad at me when I wake up? It is an adventure. Taking a nap at 4 in the afternoon is an adventure because when you wake up, you don't know what day it is, what time it is, and that's fun. That's how I like to party these days too. Okay.
This cat's looking really good.
Thank you. He looks smart. Let's give him a person face. And so he looks a little bit tired. Let's give him like a person nose.
I feel like we're in the future right now.
We are in the future, my friend. This is the future.
This is so surreal.
Oh.
And
Oh yeah. Mind-altering substances don't really help us in this situation. This is as psychedelic as it gets, and we are just rolling with just coffee and our sweet imagination. Let me fix his ears. He does kind of look like an owl. Let's bring his ears up a little higher. Well, you did ruin it just a little. No, I'm kidding. You didn't. You didn't ruin it. You're being difficult. It's too late. I already fixed it. It's too late to take it back. It's already been done. I'm having to hold you up to the. This may be a little bit disturbing for the sensitive callers like Eric, but we will have to hold you up. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay, we'll hold it up so we can hear you better.
Yeah.
That's better. Okay. See, we learn as
So
we go.
you're having a hard time hearing me?
Yes. I mean, we can hear me.
Oh. Okay. Well, you're the important part.
Well, my viewers mean a lot to me. And every single one of you, even the people that don't call, I can psychically sense that you're watching. And there's going to be a lot of abundance in your life and a lot of joy. And a lot of, if there's, and there'll be some crystal healing later. I will get into a trance, and I will picture all of my viewers, and I'll hold a crystal, and I'll send out, I'll do an abundance prayer for all of you. Oh, there's a 15-second limit. Okay. I'll do
That works for me.
I'll do an abundance prayer. So here's our first character.
What happens if somebody else is trying to call in because they need to be a part of the
Trust me, they're not, sir.
Oh, they're not? Oh, I just want to make sure I'm not playing your part.
I would see it. I would see on my phone if there was another caller.
Oh, okay, cool.
You're good. You're good. You're an active caller. We like that. You're good on the phone.
I don't want to be in the way. But I do want to be a part of this art piece.
You're really good on the phone. So I'm going to put a little bit of, I'm going to add a little bit of color to him. And for these, just the beginnings. Whoa, what happened to that? The phone got all worried. for a second.
What happened?
Oh, never mind. The phone got all weird. Technology is so weird. Sometimes it works,
No,
and then
it's
other times it's like we're so frustrated. Like the miracle of my iPhone is not working for me right now. You know, we're so
Yeah,
spoiled.
I experience that frequently with iPhone problems.
Yes. Okay.
Looking at my empty fridge for the record.
You're looking at your fridge?
I don't know if you want.
Yes,
I
tell
don't
me what's
know
in
if
it.
you want if I play it on my end,
Yes, tell me.
but so it looks like I've got some cheese and some salami in the fridge.
This is really working for me that you're calling and that you're helping me so much. This is exactly what I was hoping someone would do, and just like hang out with me and talk about what's in their fridge. I like the idea of the cheese. I'm gonna draw I'm just assuming that it's a Kraft single. Is that true? Is it a single? Is it a slice?
They're not. They're singles. Yeah.
Yeah, they're singles. Okay. Oh, turn down your audio. I'm getting a psychic sense your audio is too high. I'm gonna turn down your audio just a little bit. Oh, the computer. Never mind. Not you.
No.
Or the phone. Oh.
His computer.
This.
No. His computer.
Oh, okay.
His computer. Turn off the sound.
Oh, they were saying to turn off the sound. Turn the sound down on your computer because the audio is a little high.
On my computer?
On your computer, yeah.
I turned it off.
Okay, cool. There, I'm gonna draw some singles. Some cheese.
How is it now?
Is it better? Is it better, you guys?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for participating. As we work our technical difficulties out.
Look, I know all about technology. I just got off the phone with my boss who's trying to figure out how to use an iPad.
Yes.
He's like 60, and he calls me on the phone. He calls me when we're away from work. Eric, I want to put these two documents together, and I try to explain over the phone. To be honest, I'm fairly new to iPads myself, so, but I think I have him fooled.
Yeah.
Into thinking that I'm some type of technical whiz.
Well, it sounds like you're pretty good with. I mean, it sounds like you kind of know what's going on, at least a little bit. You knew how to turn the audio down on your computer, which is a really good sign. I don't think a lot of people know that the computer even has audio, or that they can turn it up or down.
Right, and that's a huge thing to know.
It's really, really important, especially when you watch YouTube videos. So this cat is like surrounded by cheese singles.
Hang on, I get what you were saying because I was noisy with the cheese. What?
What else is there?
So I got some cheese, I got salami. To be honest, I don't really know if I'm that hungry. But I have these snack items in the fridge.
Whenever I just look in the fridge, there's always hummus. Like there's like the hummus grows in the fridge. It's just like always there. It's like a good friend, a loyal friend. I mean, different kinds of Trader Joe's hummus always in my fridge.
I feel that way about bacon. However, it doesn't stay in my fridge very long.
Oh, yeah. Well, you have to replenish the bacon. It doesn't like produce itself in the fridge. Like, God, speaking of which, today I was walking past this like butcher shop in Berkeley, and I saw them unloading the bacon. What bacon comes from, which is pigs, like out of a van, and it looked like they were the mafia, like bringing dead bodies to a place. It looks so scary. I'm sorry, but that's where bacon comes from.
That's poignant because I'm currently watching The Sopranos.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm big watching. Yeah. So there you go. I just started watching it the other day.
Oh man, I've seen that whole thing. So I'm gonna do a strip of bacon here. and then I'm going to give you a life-changing psychic reading if you're ready. And what's going to happen, and I'm just going to warn you if you're a sensitive person, I'm going to step behind a green screen, and there's going to be an animation that happens. So don't freak out. It's going to be pretty amazing. Like, we're all pretty stoked that we've been able to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much like magic, and if it was like another time and place, we would all be like burned as witches because it's pretty crazy.
It's Tharp.
It's Tharp World. Yes.
Well, for the record,
So yes,
I got a couple of lava lamps in my apartment.
you do.
I'm not trying to brag or anything.
Oh, I got really impressed. I like the. Are they on right now?
They're not on.
You might want to go turn them on before we take you over to the psychic reading area, just because it might help with it might help with my psychic energy, and you might get a more accurate reading if you go turn them on now. Just go turn them on.
Turn them on?
Yeah, turn them on. Turn on the lava lamps.
Okay. One of them is burnt out. One of them, the light bulb is burnt out.
Okay, well that's not helpful, sir.
I just wanted to kind of give you some facts about me. Just in case you need to know more about me, because we've never met, we're strangers.
Yes, we are. We're strangers. I've never met you. But I feel like I've known you forever, as we've been
I
talking
feel
here.
the same way. It's so weird.
I know. Well, that's what happens. Perhaps you're a psychic too. You might want to just check in with the Berkeley Psychic Society of Berkeley and just see if you might be psychic. You can take a test. It's like a pamphlet. It's like, you can take it. It's a questionnaire, and fill it out, and they'll just mail you a certificate. It's pretty cool. I can give you the lady's email if you want. It's pretty awesome. So I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna let that hang out and dry a little bit. And I'm about to take you over to the psychic area for your psychic reading. It'll be a 1-minute psychic reading, and then the conversation will be over. So you know. Are you prepared for that? Because you've been a great caller. But we have to make room for other callers. Are you ready? I'm going to the psychic area right now. Okay, here I go. Oh, and I'm going to, and then I'm going to bring my phone a little bit. Maybe, yeah, like.
Do you need me to do anything to prepare on my end?
All you have to do is picture your situation and imagine that you're getting the answer that you are looking for. So picture your situation, think of a question, think of it, and make it crystal clear in your mind. And then when I do your reading, which will be 1 minute long, the answers will be so accurate that you'll be frightened and amazed, and also it'll be life-changing. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to shuffle the cards now. Think of you. Oh, whoops. I'm going to shuffle them on myself. I'm going to shuffle them here. Because when I do it on my person, it becomes more accurate, and also it becomes more abundant, and I have a lot more scratch. God, this is not easy.
It's ridiculous.
Bring the stool.
Don't worry, this is all part of the show. I hope there's an
No, it's
entertaining animation happening around me. Thank you, sir. We have some delightful art students helping. They're like interns. They're like. It's okay.
Oh, I just saw you drop a bunch of cards on the video.
There's a delay. There's more disasters occurred as well, but I'm glad you didn't see that. Don't let this make it seem like I'm not professional, because I am. Don't let this make this seem like that I'm not a totally professional psychic, because I totally am. Okay.
No, I get it.
I work under these circumstances and these conditions, and yet I persevere. Okay, so for Eric's reading, I'm going to draw 3 cards for the amazing caller we just got, Eric. He's been so helpful. He's helped start the painting, which will become something that we don't know, but it'll always have that cat that he helped with. So here is your free 1-minute psychic reading, and I will hold the cards up so that you can see them, and start the timer. Here we go. Oh, I see good things for you, Mr. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I see happiness and love. I see a very sweet lady. I see happiness, but I also see a little bit of gossip. Are you a gossip, sir? If you're gossiping, you should stop because it's not helping your love life. People will find out what you said. Don't say anything about anybody that you wouldn't want them to repeat because I see a little bit of gossip, but I also see happiness and love. I see the beginning of a very lucrative career for you. And I'm not saying this because I know you because I never met you. I mean, there is the beginning of a very lucrative career. And it's going to take some hard work, but you're going to be very successful. I see success in love and in career, but I do see a little bit of gossiping. So if you happen to be somebody who works in a career where there's a lot of talking going on, or you're in an environment where people talk about each other, I would really be mindful of that because it can become very awkward. It can become very uncomfortable. These are the cards that you got, sir. They're very, very good. Have to end the reading. You've been a great caller. Thank you so much. And perhaps I will see you at a psychic convention later. Okay, gotta stop. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Okay, back to the painting. We had a great caller. He was so supportive of the show. Bless his heart. So now we'll just go ahead and continue. I was inspired today by what I saw when the mafia-like butcher guys were taking half of a pig out of a van in the middle of Berkeley. It was surreal. I'm going to draw what it looked like, but I'm going to draw a happy face on it because that's just the way it is. I have a lot of stuff in my head right now that I want to put on here, but I also want to leave room for the callers to help out. So how am I going to set this up? I'm going to put this guy. Okay, so the pig was crazy. How am I going to do this? Okay, so it was like you could see the ear. I mean, it was seriously like half a pig. It was so weird, and it was like the size of a person. It was kind of gruesome, but kind of cool. And he was. So here's the kiss. Maybe, how did I do this? Okay, so here's his ear. And then okay, so I'm going to stand like this so that you can really see kind of how this is going to go. So I'm going to draw him with some creatures coming out of the center of him because that's just what I'm feeling. I'm going to draw so there's like this big, huge, he's creating a doorway for other characters to enter into the scene. And in looking at the shape of this, I want to make sure to take up some space in the corners because that's a good way to create the composition on a piece this size. I'm going to make a nice hoof here because I believe the hoof was on him too. And I believe that the number for the call-in is flashing across the screen beautifully. And you can think of it like, if you guys remember the Psychic Friends Network where Miss Cleo would answer all your questions, she charged money. And I don't do that. Thank you. I don't do that. It is a free service. It's because it's a free service for all the people of the world to get insight into their lives and collaborate on art. It's a wonderful thing. It's only a minute. I mean, things aren't really that free. But it's fun to, the delay is kind of intense on the show, but it's also kind of a weird experience to hear yourself and talk at the same time. And what else are you going to do on a Wednesday night? This is pretty much the best thing going. So there's these little hoofies here. I'm so glad that I saw this today. I mean, I took a picture of it and then I don't want to look at this picture ever again. But I have a clear mental picture, which is why I don't like to watch a lot of intense violence or scary movies, because my mind is will just like soak in the information and I'll never unsee it. Which can be good. I have a really strong visual memory, and it's good in some ways, but also bad in some ways. So, God, I'll never unsee that half a pig ever. So the best way to get something out of your head that you saw is to draw it or paint it. That's what I think. And then everybody can see it. So here he is. And I believe, let's just go ahead and put the tail on this part. And we're going to fill in some of these corners with color too. I have a lot of colors. I don't know if I'm going to even use all the colors that I made here today. But I'll just sort of go along and painting fairly quickly. This is an underpainting, so it won't be something that I probably keep. Some of it will get painted over. But it's hard to start a painting, and I find that I thought that would be a really great thing to do on Tharp World. I haven't done it before, where I just start something completely from scratch. I usually have something I've prepared and kind of work on a piece that I've made that I can just jump into. But I thought it would be fun to kind of completely start with something new, and you can watch over the course of a couple weeks how they kind of I'll do kind of an underpainting and then paint something on top, and then with acrylic paint, it's really cool because before it dries, you can even peel some of it back and get some of your old... Oh my gosh. Excuse me, just like... Hello, you're on Tharp World. Who is this?
Hi, this is Josh.
Josh! Josh is calling. This is very exciting. Hello, Josh. Thanks for calling the show. Are you watching the show right now? Yes, I'm drawing. I've done a cat, and then I just did a half of a pig here. This has had been brought out of a van that I saw this afternoon, and there's going to be some animals coming out of the center of the pig to kind of brighten the mood because it's a bit gruesome.
Yeah, like a pig.
Yeah, you can see that it's it's like a slab. I got inspired because my last caller had bacon in his fridge, and I thought, I better put that pig on the. I gotta get him. This is he's gotta be there. He's a character in the whole scene. So, Josh, help me out, Josh. What do you think I should do next on this painting? I need help from my viewers. It's a collaborative effort on Tharp World where we ask the viewers what they want to see. What do you want to see?
I feel like there's a cat and a pig. There needs to be a rainbow.
A rainbow coming out of the pig or between the two? Where's...
Somehow, I'm not really an artist.
Oh, it's even better that you're not, sir. It's even better that you're not, because then I get really fresh ideas from people that aren't. So I see you want a rainbow, and you want it coming out of
I want to see a rainbow involved.
Yes, I like that. Where on the piece would you like me? Wherever you want the rainbow, I'll put it. Just for my viewers. I love you guys.
I don't care so much about the positioning of the rainbow.
Yes.
I just really want it not ironic.
Well, you know what I'm going to do for you, Josh? I'm going to paint rainbows like I used to paint them when I was a little kid. And I still remember how I did it. I remember how I did it because I put clouds, and it wasn't ironic. It was as innocent as a little baby's blanket. It was when I was 5, it was not ironic. I didn't understand irony then. And I'm going to try to capture that spirit right now for you.
Sounds great.
Okay. I love it. I love it. And I love that you're not an artist and you're calling, because I want to make it clear that this show is for everybody, not just artists. Anybody can call in. And I love all of my callers and all of their input. And I will do absolutely anything. Well, let's not get crazy. But I'll do most anything that they want me to paint when there's no reason.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some weird...
This is
a
an
family
art show.
So the great thing about, and thank you so much for calling, the great thing about being a little kid when you're painting rainbows is that you don't even really know what colors are in the rainbow. So I'm just going to use the palette that I have, which is gray, blue, and red, and yellow, and just paint a rainbow like a child would paint it. We know that it starts with red, and that it ends with two fluffy clouds on either side. So I'm going to put it. Where am I going to put that rainbow? I'm going to put it coming out of the neck of the pig that has been slaughtered, as it almost like its spirit is escaping.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And it's not ironic at all because the pig is dead and he's gone to a better place. And there's no irony in heaven.
Literal.
There's no irony in heaven. It's completely just angels and probably people playing instruments like harps or accordions.
Yeah.
No accordions. That's ironic. Sorry.
Do you have any glitter?
There's glitter, and there's so much scrapbooking. Like, all of your lifetimes are just scrapbooking constantly in heaven. You're like, oh my God, remember that trip to Italy? That was cool, you know? And remember when I was like, remember the Inquisition? That was fun too, you know? Like, all of your lifetimes are like scrapbooked. I think maybe that's what it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next color will be kind of gray.
Yeah. All right.
This
Good
is
job.
yes. This is a really wonderful idea. Thank you, and thank you so much for calling. It's so nice to have the input from someone who is a appreciator of art and who just wants to see a rainbow.
Yeah. Thanks for being on the Compound TV.
Oh yes,
All
yes.
right.
We love it. It's a labor of love for us too. There's so much work that goes into it, and yet there's so much more that we get out of it. There's a lot of people that work on the show besides me. There's many behind the scenes people that have put so much
You know,
effort.
I'm a long-time watcher and a first-time caller.
Oh my gosh, a long-time watcher and a first-time caller. Well, we want to thank you for calling tonight, and you have made it okay for all of the other viewers who are maybe shy or just kind of afraid to hear their own voice on the TV to call in. So you've really given them permission to explore possibilities and hope.
All right.
In
Thank you.
yes.
I'm all about possibilities and hope.
Yes, me too. And abundance, and Oprah.
Yes, donuts. Okay, have a good night.
Oh wait, don't you want a reading? Do you want a psychic reading?
Oh, sure.
Oh my God.
Oops, I almost forgot.
Yes, I almost forgot too because we got so into painting the rainbow, which I think looks innocent. Do you like that rainbow? It looks very childlike. I think it looks pretty kid-like to me. Are you still there?
It's there, yeah, I see it.
Okay, good. Okay. I'm gonna give.
I'm feeling like it could have flowed more through the piece, but
Oh, I
it
see.
will do.
It can still flow through the piece after you end the call and get your reading. I will continue the rainbow like
All right.
through the piece just for you.
I almost wanted to say that'll do, pig, but we don't have to say that.
Okay, yeah.
I learned that from this line from the movie, you know.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes. That's wonderful. Let's go to your reading. Let's give you a psychic reading.
Great.
Okay, here we go. So think of your question, think of your situation. The reading is 1 minute long, and it will change your life. Are you ready? I'm stepping over to the psychic area. Right now, about to shuffle up the cards. Thinking of Josh, thinking of his question, and we will give him his reading. I will not drop the cards on the floor like last time, but that was funny for the viewers, not for me. Not for me. For me, it was embarrassing and awful, but I'll get over it. Oh, God help us all. Here we go.
That was rough.
Okay, you ready? I'm going to draw 3 cards for you. And my timers, my producers will keep time. They're very, very strict. They won't let me go over a minute. They're like, time is money. And we need to have callers, like, there's time for everyone. Okay. Start the timer. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is good. Okay, Josh, so I see a lady in your life, and she's a smart lady. She's an earthy woman. She's got talent in in the cooking, and she's got talent in art, and she's very smart in business. I also see the Ace of Swords in your spread, which is the beginning of some really intense ideas. The ideas may challenge the people that you know. It may be like you're getting into something different that you haven't tried before, or you're trying a new pursuit of some kind, but I see that you've also established quite a following of people to help you. I see a lot of energy, a lot of mental energy, and a lot of support. So whatever you're going to try to do, that if you're going to start something new, and the Ace of Swords usually means people are starting something newer, it's got good energy with it, but it's got a lot of support. Like, you've got a lot of support from a certain woman, but also a bunch of other people. So whatever you're doing it well. Keep going, and don't get down on yourself if people kind of disagree with you or threatened by some of your new ideas. And there's the end. I have to end the reading. And thank you so much for calling. Thank you. Okay. Awesome. So let's continue that rainbow that we started with Josh. An innocent, non-ironic rainbow, which is really hard to do because rainbows I'm taken on a ride, since the 70s when we all wore them on our little jerseys. I think that sometimes we should just leave things really simple. So I'm just going to make that rainbow just a little bit more. This almost looks like a kindergartner painted it. And we're just going to leave it like that. A long-time watcher and a first-time caller. That's what we like to hear. We love all of our callers so far. So that's nice. That's nice. So let's continue with the pig. I'm seeing him like we have to indicate that he is a half of a pig, so I'd like to kind of open this up and put a little bit of color. This isn't quite dry yet. I thought that it would dry a lot sooner with the lights, but it's not, so that's okay. Coming out of the pig, let's darken this actually. Let's make this dark like a shadow. As I was painting this underpainting, some of my hairs got stuck in the paint, and so you'll see them. Maybe you can't see them from here, but they add texture and protein to the piece, and it's fine. We've had some excellent callers, and the show's not over. We have 15 minutes left. You could still call for your free psychic reading. 1 minute, but it'll change your life. You can also collaborate with me on this strange piece that we're doing tonight, that we will continue on for probably a couple of weeks as it evolves and grows. And throughout the evening, bizarre things will happen. Because lately, and what's happening here, I don't know. Oh, I know what's happening. My characters that I've been doing lately, my dancing grubs are like going to be like jumping out of this pig. I'm going to make this quicker. Yeah. So I've got a little bit more coverage here. Just fill this in. Make it a little faster. So the very beginning, it's the toughest. Sometimes what I'll do if I'm doing a larger piece is I'll take an already existing drawing and I'll just project it a little larger onto it, and that's an easier way to do it. This way it's a little bit harder because you just don't know if it's going to work out, and then you end up doing a lot of covering up and starting over, and it takes a little bit longer. But it can sometimes be fun to try to detach a little bit from having an expectation of how it's going to turn out and just kind of leave it, even if it seems a little unfinished. Sometimes that's the best way to leave them. So This is the grubs. The grub meaning like little worm creatures. They have these kind of crazy mouths of teeth. Just. Oh, online viewer wants a virgin on a half shell. Give kitty and pig company. Okay, virgin on a half shell. Give kitty and the pig company. Okay, so, all right, let's do that. What my viewers ask for, they get. That's the way the show works. I collaborate. So a viewer wants a virgin on a half shell. So how are we going to do a virgin? I'm thinking like, I'm going to do like a computer guy with glasses and like his pants pulled up really high. Like maybe he's like 25 and he is just like, he's lived with his mom for a while and he's just like, he's starting to venture out into the world and he's on the, he's in the dating scene. He's like using Tinder and and it's scary, And the half shell is like, I think it's kind of like a race car bed, but it was like kind of like maybe like a water bed from the 90s. And he's watching the show from his computer. So the virgin and the half shell. Okay, this is gonna be. So that's the grub's mouth, and I have to do the virgin on half shell down here. So he's gonna be. This is gonna be so weird because the composition's gonna make like very little sense. But it'll all work out in the end. It always does. So his hair is like a little overgrown. I mean, when we think virgin on a half shell, we think of like Venus, or we think of like 50 Shades of Grey, we think of a girl with like bangs or something. But I like to think of like a young man, 25 or so, working. Maybe he works from home some of the time. But he's just like, he's embarking on the dating scene. It's rough out there, But he's not an unattractive guy, but he doesn't like dress very well. He wears like, sometimes he wears like his dad's sweaters and he still wears his little pajamas and he let's see. But he's adorable in his own way. And he's like watching, so he's on his bed. Oh, look, he's dreaming of something. Because when you think of virgins, you think that they have like hopes and dreams, and their expectations are high. Oh, he's so cute. So his little hands are, his little. Adorable. So he's in his little undies. Let's put him in his little undies. Let's put him in his little undies and his little feet kicking up. This is turning out to be one of the weirdest paintings I've ever made, ever. It's so random, but I love that part of it. Look at how sweet and innocent. He's just a little angel, Just the sweetest little angel. And the half shell is like his bed. It's a twin. No, it's not a twin. It's even small. No, that's a twin, right? The little ones? That's what it is. It's like a little bed. Little. And the guy hangs off of it, because he's like had that bed since he was a kid. But that's why he's so sweet. I hope the viewer enjoys. I don't know if this is what the viewer intended, but this is how I pictured it. The bed is so small. His little mattress. And maybe it's like he's dreaming this whole scene. It's like these are his dreams. Or his. So there's his little bed. We won't draw what's under the bed. We'll let the viewer have their imagination take it there. But we all know. And there's his hair. He needs a haircut, but his mom still pays for his haircut, so he'll probably come into my salon and micromanage like the haircut. I'll probably see him maybe next week. That is so special. Doesn't that, I mean, it's so cute. Look at his little underwear. Do you think we should make them like a color? No, let's just leave him white. Let's just leave him white. So there he is. Let's put the bed. This is actually great because it's starting to make sense. All the characters are starting to kind of have a flow to them, which is pretty cool. I don't even know if this will end up being what I intended. Maybe this is something he's imagining. I don't even know what's going on in here, but it looks like one of his thoughts. And I think I'll leave it for that. Oh, 5 minutes left, you guys, to call in. 5 minutes left, and there's a call-in number on the screen. You can still get your psychic reading and still collaborate with me if you're watching. So I have some open-ended questions on this piece. I have these things sticking out of the pig. I have a big circle here with nothing in it. I have a virgin on a half shell, a cat with bacon and cheese, a rainbow, and half a pig. So what am I going to do with that, you guys? You're leaving me in a very strange place. It'll feel very unfinished. I need a little bit more help. So please call in. Let me know. Give me any ideas. It doesn't have to be a long call. It can be really quick. And if you're shy, you can also chat live on our website, and I will get the message psychically. I usually do. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm just going to continue with my idea, which are these kind of pinwheel grub creatures that have like sharp teeth. And you know, if this works well, I may do another one like this, maybe even bigger. Because I thought this is kind of a large panel, but it turns out that it's actually not that difficult to work on something this big on the show. It's kind of cool. So let's just... We've had excellent callers call in. Very talkative people, which we love. But it's okay if you're not that talkative too, because I do plenty of talking. So let's put the teeth on this thing. These guys look kind of scary, but they're not. They're actually really friendly. And they like to dance. I put them in outfits. They don't have eyes, but they have little feelers. They're really cute. If you've ever like gone on and looked at like an image search of grubs, they're really cute. Some people eat them, and I've heard they taste like Cheetos if they're fried, but I don't think I'm going to do that. And they don't really have sharp teeth like this. This is my adaptation. So here we go. We have a couple more minutes left on the show. It's been quite an adventure. I have to stand back from this piece and take it in a little bit more closely. I'm excited to do that. But I think in the last 5 minutes we might want to play, or at least the last couple minutes, we might want to play an animation. And yeah, like my mind has been read by my producers, and just like go over where the cats are in this magic land, and dance with them, and just like shake out the sillies. Okay, let's go do that right now. We don't have any music, so you guys are going to have to like put music in your minds, like something new wave we're dancing. Something fabulous. Okay, I'm heading over to the area, and where my cards were. We don't need this. Tell me when it's happening. Okay, this is new music. We're dancing. Am I dancing with the tablet? Am I dancing? Everybody get somewhere singing and shake the sleeves out. Art is very physical. We have to move our bodies. Shake out the stage with the cat. Everybody Everybody dance to the chest. Oh my God. Shake it out, you guys. Shake the feelings out. High and low. Everybody dance. Feel your arms. Thanks for watching the Tharp World, everybody. Thank you so much for calling, everyone who called in and who is having us live. I'll be back next week to work on this piece, and we'll have more fun and see more animations and do more psychic readings. And in the meantime, keep making art. You can watch videos on YouTube. Thank you so much. Good night.